Yeah, hello my people, my beautiful and handsome viewers. Welcome to my page, Timo Starboy Reality Talk TV. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And for those people who have already sleeping, good night. Yeah, this our show is gonna start now. Yeah, so welcome to the page, Timo Starboy Reality Talk TV. On YouTube, on Facebook, Timo Starboy Channel Blog. So you are all welcome and I greet you at your location time. So it don't shele it seems that this Buhari, President Buhari, he want to run away. We don't tell una say this man no love Nigeria. He's a foreigner. He no love Nigeria. He want to make katakata, he want to make kitikiti, he want to make everything, make it just scatter before he come pack him bag, go where he belong. Whether na Chad, whether na Senegal, I don't know, because this man is not belongs to Nigeria. He's a foreigner. We don't tell una say this man no love us, he no love Nigeria. All this Fulani dem waka come. Dem waka come. Their mission now is e don fold up, e don cast. So that is why they want to spoil the land. They just want to spoil it. They want to spoil it for the owner, for the rightful son of the soil. You cannot open your eyes as a son of the soil to let them burn your house. It cannot be happen. It is only bastard. We say, okay, burn it down, burn the house down. It can never happen for this the real owner, the real son of the soil. When they are setting their house on fire, I will be happy. You see these people, that is why they don't care whether they give it to armed robber or they give it to drug lord, drug dealers, or they give it to anybody that is a criminal. They have nothing to lose. This is what we've been telling you guys. It's time to wake up. Don't let this guy escape. Because after his turn on now, after his regime, he will just pack him bag. You don't load many things. You don't chop. You don't chop belle food. You don't chop. You don't pack money. You don't pack everything. Where is that thing will last for the rest of his life. You don't pack enough money that it will sustain him for the rest of his life. That is why he's finding way. He's finding way how to run. To back my story, listen to this. Listen to this video I will play for you. I will play. We will hear it now, me and you. So listen attentively. Listen what the content inside the video. Don't miss any words. Don't miss any words. So let me and you listen. Let's go.
How they visit the matter. Watch the video. Just to open up the discussions here today, what do you make of this news? Do you think people are just making a mountain out of a molehill by saying that Buhari decided to retire to Niger Republic?
Retire to the Niger Republic. Number 1 point.
It's a big deal. The first citizen of Nigeria who would have served Nigeria for 8 years, given the best kind of protection, being the president. Somebody Nigeria has invested in. To say after retirement or after leaving office, if people should disturb him, he will relocate. It's very sad. It meant that he was never committed to this country in the first place. Otherwise, this is a person who is supposed to stick it out, even if this country is burning, after he leaves office, and be a statesman and ensure that the country survives. Not to think of himself and to feel just because people might disturb him, then he would relocate. I don't know what he was thinking about when he made that statement, but it's very sad that Mr. President made that statement, and it should serve, what the response should serve by all others, not only myself, should serve as a warning to any other leader that you are here as a Nigerian leader to serve Nigeria, whether in office or out of office, and not to shy away or run away when things get tough on you as an individual. So it's unfortunate that statement was made, and we pray that if it was made in error, he should come out and tell Nigerians, look, he was joking, but if it was even a joke.
It's not joking.
It's a joke.
This man mean it. He mean business.
Nigeria is a country.
The man don't pack money.
Nigerians have vested so much in President Buhari by electing him into office as president and giving him all the privileges that a president deserves. And when he leaves office, he should remember and continue to serve Nigeria, not to run away just because
this man will run away. Believe me.
So a lot of Nigerians believe, and you even said it, that statement means that he's not been committed, to serving Nigeria, that he's distant from reality. But at the same time, too, I would also like us to point out that the president has been saying it for a while, that he's tired and that he's actually looking forward to retirement. So I'm wondering if there's any lesson we can learn from here. When a president is tired, is it compulsory that the president stays into power until the handover date? When a president is tired, shouldn't the president retire instead of, putting the country through hardship and unnecessary stress, and then at the end of the day talks about running away from the country if he's been disturbed?
It's correct. If he had known that he was tired ab initio, he should have retired even before now. But the issue here is not just being tired or being unhealthy or whatever it is.
The man has spoiled the country and he wants to get away with it, with the crime.
Served this country for 8 good years.
Yeah.
Who will retire from service just few days from now, because today we are marking the first day of May. And for him to make such a statement, it's just that to say that, yes, gentlemen, I served you, but all along, you are not my priority. When I leave, if you continue putting pressure on me, I'll go to where my priority has always been. That's the kind of statement, and it's unfortunate that we
it's unfortunate.
Forget about sentiments
this
in
man,
this country
in mean business.
Invest our polls.
Why mean business? You want to run away with the crime.
So committed to this country, whether in office or not. And it raises so many questions.
Yeah.
Just as you noted, that if somebody is tired, he should retire. In Nigeria, people don't want to retire. They want to be pushed out of office. But we should have people who are really committed to this country, serving as leaders. And when they know that they lack capacity in whichever way, they should come out boldly and say, fellow Nigerians, I feel and I believe that I lack capacity to continue as president, and I'm withdrawing to allow somebody more competent to continue.
But they will not do so.
Even some of the contestants we have now, some of them
they will not tired, they are gullibles.
But all the same, it looks like everybody wants a job.
Sorry, guys.
Everybody wants a job of being a president. President of Nigeria, one of the most powerful presidents in this country.
Do or die.
Provided by our constitution.
Do or die
our
business.
Constitution invests so much in the president that he can do and undo. So I think something needs to be done so that we can have a better country. And then our institutions have to be also strengthened to be able to create the right checks and balances for this country to run well.
Eye of the storm himself. Well, let's not keep his...
Sorry, this is another story. This is another story. Is breaking news. Peter Obi speak on a petition tribunal. Let's hear from Peter Obi.
Fans and opponents waiting, because joining me now in the studio is the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi.
That's the chance for the years that live in any manner being questioned for any offense. No committed any offense. So it was a routine immigration check. And it lasted, like I said, less than 20 minutes. And I was actually given all the due respect by the border personality that interviewed me, who told me your identity is duplicated, be careful. And actually had to walk me through the what I can call the VIP process and everything, and have a written document from British government.
I've seen that document.
Thank you. Thank you.
Clarifying the
And so it was never
situation.
detained, and it was just a few minutes question and everything. And they were Nigerians because I arrived on British Airways. So they were Nigerians who were cleaning up. Even what I was even worried that I was asked to just wait for a few minutes. And when that happened, I explained it to them and they took off. But it's been traumatized and everything because it's me. People said I was detained, committed an offense. People said even committed several offenses and everything. Or his company was closed. He wasn't paying tax. Charged for the years I lived in Britain. Never have I had any day depression. And I can say it. My taxes, my days were duly paid. In fact, most times they have refunded me money for overpayment. I've borrowed money, I've done everything globally. Not one day did I default in any. If you find one default, then it's not Peter B.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that point about the arrest. And in support of the point you're making, I have seen the letter from the British High Commission making it ineluctably clear that it was no such thing. Nevertheless, as you said, there was a huge hullabaloo about that.
Guys, this point, Mr. Peter Obi, is clearing himself about what went down at Heathrow Airport in London. And that is what he's trying to clarify to people, that he wasn't arrested, you know. It's just due to the some, I don't know, maybe some people they are using his document, you know. That is what that's what's happened. That's really what happened, you know. So some people are trying to manipulate things on his document. Maybe they are sharing document with him, and that is the problem of our immigration. We let loose of somebody's document and fingerprint and the photos, you know. So it's a government problem, not him. So he's trying to clarify what happened, that he wasn't arrested and it wasn't all those things he put in a cell. So because people they be elaborating and making it a big news that he was arrested and put in detention and all along like that, you know. So it wasn't happened that way. They're just trying to spoil the guy image. So that is what he's saying. So I just analyzed the point so that it can be clear to you people. So what we are doing here, you know. So let's continue with the video.
Nigeria. I mean, was that a humiliation for you, or at the very least embarrassing that all this was being talked about you? And I mean, even the people who follow you seem to be disappointed.
Charles, I would have made comment on it earlier, but these things happened during what I call holy month, where for me as a Christian.
Why this thing now? Sorry guys. Just have a distraction here, you know, disturbance of commercial.
For me as a Christian, it was a fasting period and period of phenomenon. And I felt it is not time to make comments. I only answered one question within that period when I was mentioned with treason, because I felt it's a good offense. And because it was actually mentioned where it shouldn't have been mentioned. Other than that, I just felt this is the clarification. And I've just shown you the letter.
Yes.
I won't go about telling everybody and showing everybody the letter.
Yeah, that is true.
It just showed you where we've taken our rascality to where people now come up with all sorts of things.
Well, some people said you were deported.
No.
But obviously not.
No, but they saw it. I was routine check and I was allowed to go. They even saw where I attended churches and meetings and everything. But
He said he wasn't deported.
I mean, what sort of questions
He wasn't deported at all. People they have been trying to picture the guy blue and black.
There's something wrong with your dentist.
They want to picture him blue and black.
Just give me a few minutes and that's it. And I sat there for a few minutes. For about 15, minutes, he came back and said,
They are just exaggerating on the whole issue. You know our people now.
Which I would say should actually not have originated from here.
I'm glad you've clarified that point. But there's also another question being raised about whether you are a dual citizen. As you said, you lived in London for a long time. I mean, do you have dual nationality, either British, American, or elsewhere? Because I was reading somewhere that you were conferred with the honorary citizenship of Dallas, Texas in 2022.
That was a lie.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
Even one of the presidential candidates said that it means nothing. It just shows that, okay, well, if you come into this city,
that was a big lie.
It doesn't even give you a visa. If you apply for a visa, it can't even help you for your visa application. It means nothing. Just I've never applied, right? And I will never apply for citizenship of any other country.
Yeah, but
I'm a Nigerian,
right?
But I live in Nigeria. I lived in the UK for a period of about 12 years. I had a permanent stay.
So you were a permanent resident in the UK?
But I had indefinite stay, which means I can stay there for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's the
When I
permanent.
left the UK in 2025, I went back to them and said, take your stay. I'm no longer available. I now go to the UK with visa.
And also to clarify the fact that even if you were a permanent resident, that doesn't make you a citizen.
Well, I'm just telling you that even that stay, I returned it.
Right.
I've never applied, and I will never, as long as I live.
Right.
My family knows this, everybody knows that I was born in Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. God created me in Nigeria. He not made me in America, or a Japanese, or a British. But since immediately I'm a Nigerian, I will want to live and die in Nigeria.
Nevertheless, Asari Dokubo, who is a well-known person from Rivers State, says he can prove that you are a citizen of the Solomon Islands, and that the conditions for buying property there is that you must be a citizen. What's your reaction? Do you own property there?
One, I don't know where Solomon Island. It's such a place in my life. I don't know. I've never been there. I've no reason to go there. Few places I've gone in the Caribbean, people places like Haiti. I was in Haiti when they had the earthquake. I was a governor. Then, everybody who is close to me knows that I've been to most troubled places in the world. So when there was earthquake in Haiti, I went to President Jonathan. He stood there. I said, Mr. President, I'm going to Haiti. They had an earthquake. I want to go and help them to rebuild. He was even surprised. He said, Peter, I said, that's what I've done all my life. I've been to most troubled parts of the world. As I'm speaking to you, Mr. President, I withdraw my son from school. We're going there to Haiti. And I went there. The High Commissioner then will tell you. I even met some police officers from Nigeria who were there and will tell you. I even traveled with some of the people who, Bob Manuel, who used to be one of the actors. He saw me and said, I'm going to this place to help them rebuild. And I had to raise money then, over $200,000. So I've been to Haiti and I've been to Barbados. So
Okay, Barbados.
other than that, I can't remember. I don't know where Solomon Islands is. I've never been
Solomon
there.
Island.
I don't own a property anywhere outside Nigeria except in the UK where I lived.
Yes.
Other than that, any other place that there's a property in the name of Peter Obi, it is fake. It doesn't exist. And I don't get it. Why would I own a property where I don't live?
Well, I'm glad you clarified that point, but I'm afraid there are other things that need clarification. The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, recently called for your arrest, accusing you of treason. Do you see any links between your activities lately and any treasonable offences?
That's the height of rascality. Height of rascality. And it was even announced in Washington.
Rascality.
I committed a treasonable offense. And I'm in Onitsha. And my minister went to announce it in Washington. This is what I'm talking about. We're not talking about wasting governance here. People don't want to understand. The amount it costs Nigeria for him to go and announce that in Washington can fix.
It's afraid of
government.
this in IPOP.
Of 6 classrooms in a primary school. I'm sure if you go to the village, there's so many places where children don't even have desks or classrooms to go to school. And instead of using that money to go and do it, he used that money to go to Washington to announce of treason of somebody who is not a child. He doesn't need to do that. It is rascality of the house.
It's crazy. His mentality is is very idiot. Idiot man. Lie.
Well, I'm in Nigeria. You should have come to see me or invite me.
The man is not well.
This is the offense.
He's a sick man.
How did we get here?
Yeah, that's a good question, but I'm afraid it will remain a rhetorical question at the moment. Some of your followers, just moving on from that, who are known as obedience, have recently engaged in a sort of caustic exchange of words with Professor Wale Soyinka, the Nobel laureate, and he said that they simply don't accept any form of criticism. And I think it was around the time when he made the comments about fascism and your deputy, Yusuf Baba Dati Ahmed. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Charles Prof is a respected, revered personality in Nigeria and globally. And I've always respected him. And he's a dear father to me. And for me, I was very, very sad that it was such a change. Some of the obedience, I must tell you, or people they, mentioned the obedience are not entirely people who are with us. The oppositions have also come into it. They're using it at times.
The other opposition?
Other opposition parties. Right. Not that is not to worry about. But I was very sad there was such a exchange between a respected father. But you have to understand this. These young people are people who have been so deprived by supposedly a system that is supposed to care for them. They've been pushed to the wall. Even me, Charles, the way they even react when I say things, and I could see their pain. I could feel it. Because I live in the same system, Charles. And they are living in. I said it in Enugu 2 days ago. I said, listen, I live in this town. I went to JR in Enugu as a student, University of Nigeria in Soka, and paid 2,600 and something naira for a Volkswagen car. And within 2 years, Muhamadu Motors in Soka sold a 505 to me at 2,700 naira, at 6,800 and something naira in the same country. I remember Ozumano telling me that they have too many orders from so many lecturers, so my own will be delayed. If you guys see people like Professor Mala, my lecturer then, they are driving new cars. This is society. When we lived, everything was working. All of a sudden, these young fellows now live in what you can consider a war situation. So at times, there's issues. I will make my own comment in England. Prof remains very, very far. And I'll keep respecting him for that. And of course, the young obedience, I feel for them. I wish we can see what they're saying. I wish we can feel what they're feeling. The pain. As I go around these young people, there's nothing the society is offering them.
Well, it's not just
even when they try to do it on their own. Yeah. This is a place where if you carry today, you're moving around with laptop. You are arrested. And labels also of names. This is a place where people are thrown into jail for even making comments. These are places where people, all sorts of things are made on these people. When people who have stolen billions of country's money, done worse things, are moving around, being celebrated, being used as an example to them.
Well, on the back of what you're telling us, today is, of course, Labour Day or Workers' Day, and Nigeria marks the day amid rising unemployment, which kind of relates to the people that you're talking about, because a lot of the people who are most affected by unemployment are young people. and many of them are part of the obedient movement. What is your message about that?
Well, Charles, what message can you give them? Which country of our size that you know today is going through what we're going? We have almost 40% unemployment and 65% youth unemployment. When you talk about 1.3 million people being looked as multidimensional being, which percentage of these are young people in their productive age doing nothing without knowing where the next meal will come from? And nobody cares about them. And that's
So
what's
sad.
happening everywhere. And again, if I'm trying to say something, you will even see where I said I will start fighting poverty from the north. And people say, oh no, he's insulting people from the north. Even when Nigerian statistics said that out of this 1.3 million people, 86 million is from the north. And I say that's why we have vast or cultivated land, and I believe that we can make more money from agriculture than we're making from oil. And the only way to put this out of poverty is to invest in these resources and invest in them, everything. So for me, nothing for them.
So that's how you think we should start reducing unemployment, is it? Through agriculture as a first step?
Okay guys, we will stop this video right here. So let me play you another one. This one is from Labour. Yeah, probably a woman speaking on the election that this INEC conducted on February 25th. So let's hear what the woman is saying concerning the trouble that is going on, and some people they are grieving about. So let's hear from the woman and we move on. Okay.
Taking place, but its ripples and aftermath for our promising democracy have been worrisome and frightening. Some of us who are architects of Nigeria's current democratic experience, being human rights activists, political rights advocates, progressives, civil society and labor union activists that fought the military for the restoration of democratic governance in Nigeria, have watched with utter astonishment how the processes and procedures meant to consolidate our 24 years of democratic wins have been greatly eroded through the 2023 general elections. We entered this season of elections with a strong consensus by Nigerians that the new Electoral Act will improve the level of electoral accountability and the huge financial investment of about 355 billion in the electoral processes, including the deployment of beavers and the use of INEC IREF, will make a marked difference in the elections. Sadly, the 2023 general elections became an anticlimax, dashing the hopes of Nigerians for credible elections and denying citizens the emergence of qualitative political leadership across Nigeria. Clearly, INEC in cohort with some members of the political class have driven a death nail into the democratic experience of most Nigerians, thus leaving the electorate despondent to resort to self-help in their effort to salvage whatever is left of their vibrant political engagement with the 2023 elections. Unfortunately, majority of Nigerians, especially the youths, who fought with patriotism to reset their country through the ballot box, are now wondering if elections have become the tool for legitimizing the corrupt to take over Nigeria. This dark cloud of anguish arising from the terribly mismanaged 2023 general elections has jolted the confidence and hope of many Nigerians, thus propelling us as citizens of conscience to take this bold step of beginning to resist and mitigate the intended and unintended crisis looming over our dear country. Recall the hard-earned democratic reputations of many of the people seated here today, who organized in the early 1990s through actions of coalitions of citizens' organizations, labor, human rights, for an end to military dictatorship. Their voices held sway as they resorted to citizens' action, demonstrations, strikes, global solidarity action, and other civil resistance measures to compel the regimes of Presidents Ibrahim Babangida and Sani Abacha to concede to the wishes of the citizens. From all indications, the 2023 general elections has become a rude reminder of how quickly things can degenerate, and that the emergence of what was then termed gunpowder democracy, through which incumbent military regimes manipulated democracy processes to transmutate themselves into elected governments.
Serious one.
To transmutate into elected democratic governments. This has given way to corrupt money. This has given way to corrupt money, powered imposed rulership, manipulating the trajectory of democratic processes and elections to capture and perpetuate themselves in power. Like I said, some hitches here and there. In what we see as a democratic redemptive mission, we, the vanguards of concerned citizens and Democrats, with a front seat in the history of democratic transitions in Nigeria, are committed to ensuring that political leadership is not foisted on the country at the expense of the democratic gains made so far. As a first step, we have decided to signify our public displeasure at INEC and those behind the political coup against the well-laid out and established electoral norms and standards contained in the Electoral Act of 2022. Therefore, we condemn the outright manipulations of the electoral process and the abdication of responsibility by INEC, as it has not only destroyed trust in the democratic process, but has rewarded wrongdoing, making it possible for persons of stupendous reach, controversial background, who lack legitimacy, to become the real beneficiaries of our electoral process. We had concerns. Some of our pre-election concerns are as follows. Prior to the 2023 general elections, INEC showed early signs of inconsistency by shifting electoral deadlines, which favored the ruling party. INEC also discouraged new voters from registering through an abrupt decision to halt the continuous voters registration. And as if that was not enough, INEC deployed technical personnel manning sensitive positions to non-technical roles.
That was the dubious INEC conducted.
Effective deployment of technology in the elections.
The dubious act.
As a decoy, INEC initially displayed a high level of preparedness during the off-season elections in Anambra, Ekiti, or Osun governorship elections. INEC's use of technology in those elections gave real Nigerians reason to believe that technology will apply in the subsequent 2023 general elections, thereby causing Nigerians to be caught off their guards. Not unexpected, INEC and security agencies failed to act when in some areas such as Lagos, attacks on non-indigenous groups wanting to vote were unleashed by the ruling party. Similarly, the use of hate speeches and other criminal behaviors were treated with levity, thereby incentivizing the subsequent use of electoral violence, brigandage, and outright impunity during the 2023 general elections. To give one graphic example, the Labour Party senatorial candidate for Enugu East was brutally attacked, set ablaze along with 6 other persons, and murdered a few days to the 25th February presidential and national assembly elections with little of no consequences.
What a cruel act.
On election day, this is on the 25th
Criminal
of February
act.
as well as the 18th of March 2023, INEC operatives were operations were poorly carried out. And this we can see from all the reports of international and local observers that have presented their reports so far. The deployment of election materials to polling units witnessed deliberate lapses, while security personnel could not contain the criminal activities of armed thugs that took over strategic polling units in violation of Electoral Act 2022 and the 2023 election guidelines. These weaknesses were further worsened by huge and open inducement of voters with cash and gifts by political party operatives in the full glare of security operators. Additionally, the speed with which INEC and its officials were willing to disregard the provisions of the sections of the Electoral Act and their own electoral guidelines to hurriedly announce election results, not minding the fact that the processes were severely undermined, gave grounds for deep concerns. For instance, sections of the Electoral Act and the guidelines were ignored, and manual accreditation of voters for both the presidential and governorship elections were endorsed, thus opening the floodgate for the destruction of the sanctity.
Please share.
Of the 2023
And like. Thank you.
The most phenomenal failure by INEC was her refusal to upload the
all.
presidential election results from BVAS
You are welcome.
onto IREF at real time, as stipulated by the Electoral Act, the INEC guidelines for the 2023 elections, as well as the repeated position espoused by the INEC chairman. This happened even as the National Assembly conducted its elections on the same time, on the same day, with this happened even as National Assembly elections were conducted at the same time and on the same day, and seamlessly uploaded onto BVAS. The blatant inconsistencies by INEC in applying different electoral standards in conducting same-day elections for presidential and National Assembly point to a deliberate manipulation of INEC's well-published guidelines, which INEC mindlessly replaced, opting for administrative arbitrariness. In summary, Nigeria suffered a monumental reversal in our electoral and democratic gains through the criminal mismanagement of the electoral process by INEC and security agencies, who both compromised their duties and donated their powers of election refereeing and law enforcement to unscrupulous politicians bent on imposing their self-will over and above that of the people. A brazen and most shameful example was seen in Adamawa, where INEC, emboldened by its many earlier infractions, decided to go for broke by declaring Senator Binani as winner of an unconcluded governorship election.
Shame on you, INEC.
Let's look at the future.
All the INEC, shame on you. You are a shameless human being.
Nigeria's democratic heritage, we are calling for a return.
You want to destroy the country for us?
In which Nigerians can remain hopeful that
country that so many people have suffered for, they have died for,
will ultimately count. Therefore, as affected individuals,
you never go unpunished.
resort to the courts as the main conflict resolving mechanism, we hope that the judiciary, as the final arbiter, will ensure that the malfeasances of those powerful individuals and their corrupt allies will not be rewarded, but rather they will be discredited and punished.
Exactly.
It is in the light of this hope that we are calling on all Nigerians to believe again, not in INEC, not in the executive, but in the judiciary, and give the judiciary the benefit of doubt. In the same vein, we are calling on the justices of the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court to rise up to the occasion by restoring the people's confidence in the processes that were abused by INEC, and thereby stem the decline of our democracy. In the meantime, we are aware that should the judiciary fail to act expeditiously, it will amount to a denial of justice and invitation to self-help and anarchy. Our recent exposure to attacks on the media by agents of the ruling party and their resort to the NBC for punitive measures against media channels send frightening but real-life experience of an evolving future which is very ominous for democracy. To stop these menacing actions and attacks against the media and civil liberties of individuals and youth groups, the court must act now.
They must.
We also wish to state clearly that our duty as vanguards
We lay our hope on the tribunal court and the Supreme.
Of this inescapable.
Our hope will not be shattered away, I believe.
Democracy was earned on the blood and sweat of many of our colleagues who have paid the supreme price. For those who are still with us here today, and many of them are seated in this room today, we celebrate and appreciate them as we remind ourselves of the sacrifices of our forebearers and those of our democratic champions. Our calling is to stay focused as citizens with a vested interest in the survival of a healthy democracy. We're drawn from the Nigerian civil society, labor movements, and many other progressive constituencies. We are bounded by nationalistic conscience, fully aware of our historical experiences, and also willing. And also the younger generation who are willing to rally behind the electoral reforms, who are willing to rally behind past and recent electoral reforms.
Yep.
The new push for holistic, popular, and judicial rescue based on democratic principles shall not be dimmed by what we see as thwarting tendencies facilitated by state actors. We believe it is our responsibility to protect and uphold the democratic gains our country has made, and by standing up for a rules-based democracy as required by the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Electoral Act of 2022. We shall preserve that which we have labored to build in the past 24 years. Our belief is firm that with these democratic principles, we can continue to resist through peaceful means, the hideous dangers of allowing compromised, discredited, flawed elections to subvert our common destiny and a prosperous future for Nigeria, for which we all badly yearn. To this end, we wish to announce in association with NLC, the TUC, human rights organizations, citizens and youth movements, and allies of like-minded political organizations, that we have decided to serve as an alert mechanism for the conscience of Nigerians and defenders of Nigeria's democracy by engaging our key institutions, especially INEC, the judiciary, the legislature, security services, squarely to resist the vicious and corruptive pressures from state operatives and political class who insist on a total takeover and control of these relevant state organs. We are quickly reminded that in the Arab Spring,
Thank you, guys.
the affected countries had constitutions, they had laws, they had courts, they had democratic institutions. Yet, the young people and the people of those countries arose and took to the streets to express their dissatisfaction for the lack of connection between what was happening in their country and what were stated to be legally binding in those laws and instruments that were before them. We are in a similar season of such broken trust in Nigeria. And it will be risky for us to replace mistrust with empty promises. We believe that there is need to fight for and achieve tangible democratic consolidation within legally binding premises. As vanguards for the defense of Nigeria's democracy, we will strive to protect our collective democratic aspirations and ethos as a country, with our immediate goal being to hold a watching brief over the judiciary and its actions. We are therefore soliciting the cooperation of the Nigerian Bar Association and lawyers for the defense of justice to partner with us to reawaken the consciousness of the judiciary to its constitutional responsibility of defending our frail democracy through the enthronement of justice.